The last painting. Doctor, his friend, had told him he had only 2 days to live. Sujit was a painter and had painted all his life. He was a famous, celebrated painter, but he had lived in the woods for the last 20 years, alone. Messages had poured in and he had had many visitors for the past 6 months, when the news had spread by word of mouth. The last 6 days he had instructed that he be left alone, and he had wanted to spend time with himself. He lay there that morning with all the medical trappings, and yet his mind was serene, body relatively pain-free, and his hands alert and alive. He wanted to paint his last painting. He closed his eyes and images flashed across his mind as if his life was a moving train, and each window was a moment reached, a painting. From his childhood, he remembered his mother passing away early, and that stab of realization that life is finite, as they took his lifeless mother away. The moment when he was boarding a flight and his dear dad openly crying, waving to him goodbye as he was going to college, the pain of separation. His first kiss, the discovery of ecstasy with his one and only girlfriend Maria, and the feeling and blessedness of living. His first big sale, when a man who became his best friend simply stood before his painting, paralyzed and motionless, for an hour, and then looked at him and said, "This is so beautiful." His moments of pain and hurt, so many, when in his youthful overconfidence he had trusted one and then another, and slowly found that actually he was in a dark unknown, with only Maria and his best friend whom he understood and who understood him. The dark years, where he deeply inquired into the source of this darkness and the fount of the truly good. His slow coming into light, deliverance and maturity in an all-encompassing vision of man from his beginnings to today, with a deep and complete understanding of evil, but seeing the good and the evil in beautiful, clear-cut, black and white, with utter stark difference and clarity. Then the years moved on, deep erudition followed. Deep thinking, deep learning, deep seeing, discovering the beauty of colors, the power of colors, of light and dark. A deep study of cultures from his own deep inquiry, and coming back full circle to his innocence, and now with full consciousness, he could draw, sketch and paint. And then the variations, the symphonic, almost infinite variety in his paintings, all expressed with the prodigious output of thousands of paintings. It gave him fame and money, celebrated lifestyle, but actually his loneliness deepened with an uncompromising love that combined with his vision to an intense point of focus that made his paintings like storytelling, full of the variety of the good, the bad and the ugly, but totally lit. Maria and his best friend were with him, and two more were with him, and two more were added. That was all he found. 6 people who had seen him and were mirrors to him, in deep, profound union with him. And then the day when, within the space of just 3 years, he lost all 4. His life gone, his being suddenly shriveled, a long period of mourning, through which came his dark painting that spoke of a heaven and hell that he could not shrug away. And then a day when he sat looking at an old tree, very old, and he realized that life is finite, bird-like, light and so utterly joyous. That moment he incredibly joined his friends in a way, or rather all the men and women of past and present and future, who were him, the essence of what is a being, special and complete, called human. And then truly the second childhood. More reckless, more free, more laughing, as if he had discovered a deep secret, a biocentric secret which every butterfly, bird, mosquito, dog, cat, every living entity, except man, fully knows and couldn't articulate. That man is an animal, only a special kind of animal, possessing reason, emotion and imagination and expression and ecstasy of being. Oh, those were the years, and they had lasted till today. So light, and he could feel each moment stretched out. Nothing, absolutely nothing to regret. Lengthened into bliss each moment. Time had stopped. Now he lay at the blank canvas, and he knew what he would paint. He picked up his brush and drew a startlingly beautiful nude couple. He called them Adam and Eve. And the forbidden apple was the earth, an exquisite drawing, with finely detailed, but only enigmatically suggested very, very few lines and dots filled with the beauties of the earth. Just suggested. It was a profoundly visually executed look, as if a macroscopic inner lens was at work, a super lens that caught the whole life of man and joy in it. He looked at that painting finally in peace, laughed deeply and silently, within and without in peace. And when it was that moment he passed away, he was not aware. Each moment, the last moment too, was in eternity, captured, stated, lived in reality and put on paper. Thank you.